Got it.
Hello and welcome to the Life Laundry Podcast. I'm Gemma.
I'm Chippy.
If you hear some strange guttural noises coming from my lower regions, it's the puppy. I've not got wind.
The puppy. She has got wind. She just didn't want to tell anyone about it. When we started this call, I didn't realise the puppy was present until she kind of hoiked it up like you might do. You know, when you need to hoik your boobs into the bra a bit, you sort of did that kind of motion and the puppy just popped into screen.
Yeah.
So you're handbag dog now.
I know. Oh.
He's very cute.
I know. I love my dog.
Newborn bubble. Yeah, wait until one of them rips the other one's face off and then
that's the thing. I was going to ask you seasoned dog owners about, because I've never had more than one dog. Now, Eddie, we all know, is he's so calm and he's really chilled out and he's handled it really well since Rocky's been with us. And now Eddie has realised that he can play with Rocky and Rocky likes playing with Eddie. Well, I mean, it's carnage at times. And Eddie's never hurt Rocky. But I said to Mike, should we be discouraging this play fighting?
No, because that's how the puppy learns its boundaries.
Right, okay.
That's why quite often, not with Eddie actually, Eddie is the exception that proves the rule, but quite often you'll have people with terriers who, and I'm just speaking from terrier, we've always had terriers, we used to breed terriers, that's Jack Russells are what I know, even though I have other dogs, but quite often you'll get don't know if this is the same in Kent, women of a certain age walking around with a really angry terrier that barks a lot at people, but quite often a single terrier hasn't been told where to get off, so they're quite barky. I mean, my terriers live with other terriers, other dogs, and they're barky, but if they don't have another dog to teach them manners.
Oh well, okay.
So but even my husband and my stand-in mother-in-law get confused when my dogs play. They can't tell the difference between, and obviously my dogs have bitten each other badly, but they can't tell the difference between play noise and normal noise. And anyone who has a Patterdale Terrier will know that they always sound like they're about to kill someone even when they're playing. It's really bad. So yeah, I think it would be really good because he'll be teaching Rocky
So I never leave them unattended. When they're playing, I have to sit there like some sort of umpire, and because I don't want to not be in the room in case something happens. And then say they get in an argument and I don't know which one was in the wrong. I mean, who do I believe? Do you know what I mean? It's like that. So I'm supervising them, and then Rocky will do that thing where
my initial thought here is I need to get you some more work, because you can't be supervising them, because that's the whole point, is that you don't know, you're thinking about this in a very human way, and if they get into an argument they have to sort out the hierarchy. And actually I don't think I've ever had, oh no, I have. I think it's easier to have two males than two females. Jack Russells will probably have a laundrette who's an expert, but Jack Russells are matriarchal society.
Really?
So I know this because most terriers are, and we've usually had a girl and two boys, or majority girls growing up. And then my dog and my mum's dog fought and I couldn't work out why, and it turns out Patterdales are patriarchal. So Loki just has to be the boss of everyone, and it's really annoying. But I think I think they should find out who's boss and then they'll just settle.
Okay.
It shouldn't, I know I'm a doom bringer, but I don't see any reason why there should be any actual fighting, Gemma. No. Partly because Eddie will probably go second in command.
Well, I keep saying to Eddie, don't, this is your chance now. This is your moment. This is your perfect moment. It's finally be in charge of something.
Yeah. But maybe he doesn't want to be in charge of something. Yes, sorry, carry on. I don't think I think Eddie just likes an easy life.
Yeah, he does. Well, I did the other day, Rocky had his whole head in Eddie's mouth.
Yeah.
We're both having a whale of a time. Rocky's wagging his tail, Eddie's wagging his tail. I'm like,
Mouse does that now, bearing in mind Magda bit her so badly that we could see her windpipe. And the other day, they were having a lovely time on the sofa with Mouse's entire head in Magda's mouth.
Yeah.
We're not holding grudges in this family. That's good. But also, what's really funny is Magda will do something. I think Mouse has clearly got like a sore bit on her neck, obviously. And she gets really cross. So suddenly it won't be fun anymore. And she'll be like, bah, 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 at Magda. And Magda looks really upset and like concerned. But the size difference is so vast that it's just really funny to see Mouse desperately trying to like tell Magda off. Magda's 8 times the size. Anyway, you're giving us all puppy jealousy.
And then I was doing really, really well. And then I took him for his second load of jabs yesterday. And it was the same vet who put Milo to sleep. And when someone's kind to you.
And you cry.
Right? And
even I
yeah, and she's like, how are you? I went, no, no, I am not going to cry. She's like, okay. And then I got home, you know what they'd done, the vets? I'm sure this is what every veterinary surgery sent us, a condolence card. And in the card it said that we please accept our condolences. Please know that Milo is ready to collect when you want to come and get him. I was like, Tom's picking a rose. We're going to plant a rose over the ashes. Tom's choosing a rose that he wants to put over the thing.
God, you get to the stage we just incinerate.
No, he's been cremated.
We used to bury them all, and now we just.
No, he's been cremated, but Tom wants to put the ashes underground.
Oh, well, yeah.
And
just leave them at the vet.
Oh no, I couldn't do that.
We used to bury them all.
Like, space. She had so many.
We had this really big garden, but the thing is, now it feels weird because someone else is living there. And I'm like, did you dig up Badger at some point?
Oh, that's a nice name. Oh, we should have called you Badger.
I did think about suggesting Badger Bill.
I don't think I could actually change his name again. On his little vaccination card, it's been crossed out 4 times.
My friend's just changed her 6-month-old baby's name.
Really?
Yeah, if it's got to be changed, it's got to be changed.
That's stressful doing that.
But you know what's so weird is that they came up with the name and it wasn't her name. I've never had that with another child. I've had it with my own child.
Mm.
But she was like, this is her name? And I was like, no, it's not her name.
Mm.
And it's so odd that something like that could happen. Like, you're very much a Gemma. Feel like a Gemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was little, I used to want to be called Crystal.
Oh, did you?
I don't know why.
You watched too much telly.
Yeah, like Dynasty or something.
Crystal. You don't look like a crystal. Rocky does not approve.
No, he doesn't. I had something really important. So yesterday on the school run, right, I'm driving down the road.
Oh, I saw some stories about this.
And a man in a skip lorry, he was just delivered a skip, right? So big lorry, and it was coming up the road, and there was cars parked down one side, so there's only enough space for one. It was basically down to one lane, this road, right? He wouldn't move. Within, I'd say, about 2 seconds, he started swearing. He was in the cab of his car, so I couldn't really hear what he was saying. He was swearing with so much vigor that it was absolutely true that spit was coming out of his mouth. He was that like angry. And I just thought to myself, I didn't put this in my stories. No, sorry, I'm not moving. So I just shook my head like that. And I said, I want to go down there. You know, like you do. I want to go down there. And he's going, I want to go up there. So I was just like, well, I said, well, can you reverse? And I just, you know, that's just it. And he was like pointing to this road that I had to go up, which would have taken me like nowhere near where I needed to be. He was like, go up there. And I was like, oh. Then, so I was just being really petty. Then I realized I could actually just get round him because a car then parked had moved. I went past him so slowly that I was almost stalling. And I was just like pissing myself laughing. I was like, couldn't be driving any slower.
But oh, Gemma,
it's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right. I wasn't having it. It's not right. Because my day hadn't started well. Sorry, Rocky, stop shouting. The day hadn't started well because yesterday the Stop Oil protesters were on our junction of the M25, right near the Sevenoaks junction. So that meant that the traffic was just horrendous because it was all coming through. So what should have been like a 15-20 minute school run journey, it took me like an hour and a half. So my day hadn't started well. The whole of town was clogged up because people were trying to get off the M25. And then someone had just really selfishly decided to break down in the middle of the road at the narrowest point of town, which then created an even bigger bottleneck. And the man in the lorry he poked the wrong person.
He poked the Bray. I've got two things, Gemma Bray.
Yeah.
Firstly, how did your homework go? Last week's homework.
Well, I tried.
How did it go, Gemma? How did it? Tell the laundrettes.
So I really tried.
Did you?
Technology has defeated me. I don't know how to change the password. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, that's not what I mean. The Life Laundry email, Gemma. Did you log into that successfully? Or did you deny all knowledge of a Gmail existing?
I didn't. I've completely forgotten it existed. It was very stressful, right?
It was receiving an email and then sending me the code. Very stressful. Very stressful. Anyway, I got us in the Life Laundry podcast email.
Yeah.
I'm feeling we now have 3. We can only access 1.
No, we haven't because the domain expired, so we haven't.
No. If you go to reset the Life Laundry Instagram
password.
thing,
password,
it goes send a reminder to.
What are you doing?
And then it begins with a L, and you know how it stars it out?
Yeah.
At gmail.com. So there's another one. Anyway.
Oh, do you know what it is? Do you remember when we used to have that big brain fart about whether it was the Life Laundry podcast or just Life? I reckon we've got. For
fuck's sake. Oh, God.
It's so stressful.
Anyway, I still can't get into Instagram. Gemma's in Instagram. I have accessed 1 of the 3 Life Laundry emails. So, if you would like to email us, the email is thelifelaundrypodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture of me and Gem. You know how on the Gmail thing, oh, look at his little puppy tummy. You know how the Gmail thing has a logo?
Yeah.
I'm going to put a picture of us. So if you're emailing the podcast and there's not a picture of us, I'm going to do it after this call, after this one, so 10th of November, then you're emailing the wrong one. The lifelaundrypodcast@gmail.com. And when I got in there were some emails. I've responded to some. I responded to one and it bounced back. That email doesn't exist anymore. and I'm going to not mention any names, but I'm hoping that whoever sent it is still a laundrette. If you sent us an email and we didn't reply, genuinely, we're
just incompetent.
I hope you can tell what a shit show we are, and the fact that we have 3 emails, none of which for the last 2 years we've been able to log into. I am going to
give. It could be all sorts in there.
Yeah, well, but we got one from a lady who was asking some mental health advice, and I would say neither of us are qualified, but both of us have experienced it personally. Obviously, everyone has mental health, etc. So someone was saying, when do you know when to go to the GP? They were asking us. And when I tried to reply, the email bounced. And I just didn't want you to think that you'd been brave to email people and then they hadn't cared enough to reply, because that's not the case. It's literally that we're too thick to be able to log into our own email. But I would say, if you feel like any doubt about your mental health in terms of needing to ask a friend or ask us or whatever when the time to go is, that's your indicator that it's the time to go to your GP. And like, I always say, whenever anybody asks me, because I think I'm quite open about taking medication and stuff, so people ask me things, but if you go to your GP and your GP says you should take antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication or whatever, doesn't mean you have to. You have the option. So if you go to the GP and they advise you to do stuff that you don't feel comfortable with, you don't have to do it. And I think people feel like if they go to the GP and the GP says, oh, you should take antidepressants, then they're like, oh God, that's it. I now have to take medication for the rest of my life. You can always say, I really want that to be the last resort, or that's not going to work for me, or whatever. But anyway, I hope you are still a laundrette, and I hope that you spoke to the GP. Yeah, I know, the guilt, because I immediately replied and then it bounced back. But also means that I have set up a Life Laundry YouTube.
Oh, see, now, God, she's got an office, and look, she's off. She's like fucking shit off a shovel.
That was your homework. No homework for the Bray. I watched Anti-Hero. I mean, I can think of about 12 better music videos, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I really like her with longer hair.
Guess who's going on tour? Not Taylor Swift.
Take that.
Well, yeah, but no. Peter Kay.
No.
Tickets, everybody. Now listen, I could be doing myself a disservice here, right? I want to get tickets first, right?
I want to get tickets first.
Right, they go on sale on November the 12th at 10 a.m, I think. Check Ticketmaster, that might be the wrong information.
And I just did it for the first 2 years of our relationship. I think you could probably tell this from the way I do Gemma's accent so convincingly. But literally for the first 2 years of our relationship, Joe and I would only talk to each other in a Peter Kay accent, to the extent that our flatmate that lived above us said, it's really sweet because I can hear you two talking to each other in a northern accent. I was like, do we? He's like, yeah. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, one of you will wake up and it'll be northern. So I feel like I'm owed a ticket.
Yeah, I'm owed a ticket.
Why? Just for being
northern.
Do you think
all northerners should get a ticket by proxy?
Do you think you should message him and say, do you know who I am?
No, because I don't think he gives a shit.
Do you know who I am? I'm the other famous northerner.
So yeah, so that there you go. Heads up, guys. Heads up.
Oh God.
I get anxiety when I get
is he going to be like one of those rock stars where now his tickets are £3 billion?
I don't know. But it's at the O2. He's doing like a residency at the O2, I think, for a little bit.
Oh no, what, in East London O2? Oh.
Are there more O2s?
Yeah, the O2 There's like O2 Brixton Academy, O2 Hammersmith Apollo.
I've got a story about the O2 Brixton Academy. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I do.
So when Mike and I were first dating, I really liked, I still do, but I really liked Bruno Mars.
Oh God, we're very different people.
Do you know who?
I've heard, yeah, he does the happy songs, doesn't he? Happy song.
Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just want.
Don't. That's what I want to say to him. Stop then.
So Bruno Mars. So he was playing at the O2 Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
And Mike and I went. It was a bit of a disaster getting there because it was a Sunday and that meant that the trains weren't running. So we had to get a bus replacement, which is always a nightmare.
Yeah.
And we got there and we went to this pub before it started.
Yeah.
And because I needed a wee. And I went in and there was just this lady who, I don't know whether she was intoxicated or, are you intoxicated when you're on drugs? Is that intoxicated? Or is that just alcohol?
It is, yeah.
Under the influence, but she was just, she was stood in the toilet, not in a toilet, with her tights and her knickers around her knees. She still had a skirt on, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And she said to me, you couldn't just have a look at something for me, could you? And I just complete 180 and left. I held my wee. And I said, I went back into the pub and I was like, we're leaving.
Oh my God. I'd have been like,
it wasn't in any way being aggressive, but I was just like, no.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing where I'm so fixer. I'm a fixer.
You'd have looked, wouldn't you? You'd be like,
yeah, I'd been like, sure. Also, I'm a Londoner, so you're like, well, I suppose it's nice that you ask before showing me. Oh. Never occurred to me that it was optional.
I tried to think.
Of all the people to ask, she had not picked the right person.
Oh, yeah, so that was
It was.
I mean, it literally could have been anything, couldn't it? I mean, the fact that she had her knickers.
She could have been looking for her drugs. It's a real nightmare.
I think she was waiting there for someone to come in. She was just waiting for someone to come in. She
was braced and ready. You know, I mean, it's super. To be fair, if you're going to make someone look at your foof, the bit where you're taking your pants down is very awkward. So really, she was just circumnavigating that bit.
I must have told you in the laundress the time I did that when I was pregnant.
No.
With the chiropractor. I must have done.
It does ring a bell.
When I was really heavily pregnant and Ben was breech.
This
is how we got onto Team Thong and Team Big Pants. I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh God, and you had to,
So for new listeners, I'll just recap. So what happened was I was about 9 months pregnant. I went to the chiropractor to see if we could realign something so that Ben was no longer breech. Nobody told me that when you go to the chiropractor, you have to sort of like take your clothes off a little bit, like knickers, so they can see. I'd gone in a thong, right? Scarred someone for life. He must be about 25. And he goes, can you bend down and touch your toes? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I was mortified because I thought, what if he thinks I've done this on purpose? What if he thinks I've gone and tried to like put my best underwear on or something? And then I was so mortified. And he was so professional. He was so professional. He was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're here to sort. It's not what we're focusing on. And I was mortified. I got in the car. I phoned Mike first thing. Second thing I did was I phoned my sister because I know that she always goes to the chiropractor. She was like, well, yeah. How can you not know that? I was like, there's nobody.
You should have told me. Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Well.
And I just had visited him going home to his wife or girlfriend or partner and just going, you never guess what's happened to me today.
I'm sure I probably told the story about my friend Elle. Doesn't listen to this podcast, but she had stitches after her first baby. and then didn't have stitches after her second baby. So when the health visitor came round to see her after her second baby, the health visitor turned around and Elle had whipped off her trousers and pants and assumed the position to be checked. But the health visitor was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Well, do you need to have a look?" And the health visitor was like, "Well, no, I can if you want me to." And she basically thought that after any birth ever, the health visitor has a look at your lady bits to see how it's going. But obviously it's just if you've had stitches. I don't know, I've never had stitches, but do they check them? You're a doula.
My stitches. Oh.
I mean, it's the most intense I've ever been about not having stitches. I just was like, it's not happening. I can't deal with them. I remember my first proper boss after university cut his finger in the garden and had stitches, and he used to just stand near me and go like this, and I'd be like, I can't. There's something about them that's a big no. I basically couldn't be emotionally involved with my wrist for about 6 weeks. The whole worst thing about my wrist, obviously it was very painful when it happened, but after the operation they were like, you basically need to, she described it very well, she was like, your muscle is now like it's been it's string that's now stuck in glue, so you have to keep pulling it to get the muscle fiber back again. So she was like, you need to rub the scar. When they took the bandage off after the operation, about a week afterwards, she was like, just keep putting your head between your knees. I've never seen anyone react like this. I was like, I cannot deal with stitches. I cannot even look at them. So I'm very pleased to have skipped all that and the lady bits, but my poor friend was just legs akimbo for no apparent reason with the health visitor. Can you imagine?
Oh my God, yeah, that sounds like something I'd do.
But yeah, well, that's what made me think of it.
If you don't know, you don't know.
No, and I was laughing about it before she said, well, I had stitches first time around, because it never happened to me. So I was just like, what were you thinking? And she was like, well, when, like, the first time they checked to make sure the stitches were healing okay.
Well, when I had my tonsils out back in the 80s, when
whether you're allowed to have your tonsils out.
Yeah, and there was like a ward of us. There's like 7 kids. We were all having it done on the same day. We were all in the same ward, and my mum, for some reason, was the only parent there. And so the matron or the sister, whoever it was, very stern lady, I remember that, came around and gave everyone their gowns and their rubber plastic knickers.
Right.
My mum didn't know what these were. Right? So my mom got every single child to put the knickers on their head. She thought they were a hat. Right?
Oh, I suppose when you go into surgery, sometimes they do make you wear like a bar.
But then obviously they had 2 big holes. So anyway, right. So
that's not her first indicator.
No, right. So my mom thought she was helping. So the sister or matron who came in, and there's like a ward of 7 kids all with their plastic knickers on their heads, right? And she went mad. This is not a laughing matter. These bits are hygienic. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. At which point the woman was like, what did you think the holes were for? Like,
pigtails. It's allowing for all hairstyles. It's non-discriminatory. If you want to wear pigtails in surgery, we've got you covered. Did they have to dole out new pants for everyone?
I can't remember at that point, but I do remember feeling really worried that the surgeons and the nurses were going to hold a grudge against me because my mom had got me in trouble.
They're going to sew your throat shut. Having my tonsils out was one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Why? You had it quite late.
Terrible tonsillitis. I was in my teens, 15. She's had such terrible tonsillitis all the time. Hang on. Oh, delivery. Such terrible tonsillitis all the time. It was just such a relief, to even the extent now I've got quite a nasty cold. And I'm like, well, it's not tonsillitis.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have this swanky new office. Where's Joe working?
Oh, who gives a shit? No, Joe is working.
Is he in the kitchen?
He does 3 days a week in London.
Right.
And then where my old desk was, we've got him like a table with a desk.
Right.
He has a standing, he's got it's called a harmony desk.
Right.
So he can stand up.
What room is he in the house?
He's in our formal living room where
So
my desk used to be.
Oh, that's hilarious. Has he not got like office envy?
No, because he goes to the office in London. But also, I mean, I was about to say, but you're the same. I'm the only girl. But also I do facials. So sometimes it's nice to be able to have people come in and not go through the house. Also, it's a spare room. Also, I record stuff and he is fucking loud. Also, he can literally drown out any noise.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. He cannot hear anything, which is partly why he wanted me to be in an office, because when he's in charge of the children, that you'll hear, you know how and I'm sure this is partly a mum thing, like you need to have that super hearing, but I'll hear like, I'll get the matches, and I'll be like, I'm not going to say anything. He's in charge. I'm not going to. Dad, where are the matches? I'm not going to say anything. Oh, they're just in the top drawer, babe. Right, you just told them where the fucking. And he's like, how can you say that you're working if I'm in charge? I'm like, you've just told them where the matches are. They're planning on a bonfire in one of their rooms. When would you like me to not step in? So he was like, I think you should go and sit in an office, which is great because obviously behind me the house could be burning. It's better if I don't know about it, Gemma. But yeah, he can drown people out. And because he goes 3 times a week. Also, he came in here when it was just finished, because I'm not very good at stuff being half finished. So at the moment, I've just bought a sideboard off Facebook that I'm upcycling, and I need to move the sofa bed down. And so it makes me a bit to be in here when it's not completely finished. So I was avoiding it for ages. And I was like, Joe, you go and work in the office. You go on. And he came in and then he was like, no, this is, that's your office. So it's the woman's office. It's like your office. It doesn't feel like my office.
Mike worked in my office a while ago. Oh, yeah.
Plants there.
And I was like, don't move anything. Don't touch anything. Literally everything is how I like it. Don't touch anything.
He's got one in the garden now, though, right?
Yeah, he's got something like you've got.
Yeah.
Like a purpose-built structure with like a bathroom in it, like you've got, and he's got his pool table in there that he's always wanted. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
I was listening to another Taylor Swift song the other day.
Can I just say, yeah, I've seen it. How many of your bloody reels have you got Taylor Swift? Don't you come to me and say you don't really.
I've never heard that song before. But I made it. What's it?
Which one was it? I
spy with my little something I
with close sometimes.
Do you know what? I put one reel up after we recorded last week, or after I edited last week. And it was so funny because, because everybody who does social media, it's best to use the recommended music, because then they show it. And the top of my recommended music was that song by Taylor Swift. And I was like, I've never heard this one before. And I didn't particularly like it, but it fitted with stationery. And I was like, oh, it's like Gemma's in my phone. So I did it knowing that
I was like,
it was the sign from Gemma. Because then I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to look for anti-hero. But then I thought, actually, probably that's not appropriate for a coach. No.
No.
Then that's the thing. So I was like, oh, I'm going to put anti-hero because Gemma will think she'll know that I've done my homework and all of that. And then I was like, firstly, the words don't seem appropriate for coaching. But B, once you go down that route, you're like, what words are appropriate for coaching? And then before you know it, you're in like an 80s.
I know. Reach for the stars, climb every mountain high.
Does every child go through a phase of being in love with that song?
I never realised.
Like 4-year-old Ned, we had to listen to that most nights.
Johnny's song was actually ironically a Bruno Mars song. It goes, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for so long. What's do because it goes do and he goes ooh, and Johnny used to like going ooh.
No, Ned liked, oh my god, I remember Ned gyrating against the sofa to Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, her new song's quite funky, isn't it?
Is it? I haven't heard it. Yeah, I like the way you say it, isn't it?
We've reached the moon. I think we dusted lost in space, but I'm coming back for you, baby.
I'm coming back for you. Is that her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, oh my god, I was about to say, I've seen that. I've seen a thing on that, and then I realised it's you and your bloody sink. I've seen an influencer using that. Oh, who could it have been? Oh, it's Gemma Bray. And the washing.
Latest comments I've had. Oh, I know, you're making it. I know I'm making headway on YouTube. I've almost got 30,000 subscribers.
Hashtag follow, subscribe.
What? Oh yeah.
I said hashtag follow and subscribe.
Yeah. I did. I had a very lovely condescending comment from a gentleman. And I never had that. And I was just like, he said, I must be doing something right. And
what did he say?
It wasn't bad. He was just like, not trying to be rude, but it was because it gave me that teaching opportunity to teach the kids, the older kids, how very often the word but can negate what has come previously in a sentence. Yeah. And I was teaching, it's a learning opportunity. And he was like, not trying to be rude, but I found this a very confusing video. And then on the same day, I had someone say on my TikTok and on my Instagram, and it made me laugh. Please stop waving your arms around. It's very distracting. Full stop. Love your nails, by the way.
You're gonna have to be like an emperor penguin for the rest of your videos.
I know I use my hands a lot when I talk. In fact, I have been asked before on Instagram if I was signing. No.
Oh God, imagine if you were.
Yeah, well, I've got something like that.
Can't do.
When I was in year 3 at school, first year juniors.
Yeah.
I had it in my head that I wanted to learn sign language. So I bought a British Sign Language book. And I realized that how difficult it actually is. I was like, this is actually really hard. So then my teacher saw that I'd got the book, and he then decided what a great idea it was. And he wanted to do a topic on it. And he borrowed my book, and he never gave it me back. So Mr. still owes me my BSL book. It was in a yellow cover. Yeah, he never gave it me back.
That's naughty.
Yeah. So I do know I put my hands around a lot, but that's just what it is.
That's fine. If you were a TV presenter, they'd want you to do that. You need to use your hands.
But it just made me laugh. Stop waving your arms around. I find it very distracting. Full stop. Love your nails.
Do you remember that classic one? We've got to find that Jolene video. That classic one of I used to really like you, but I hate your earrings. Something like that, where it's like,
everyone always brings that up. Everyone's remembered that.
It's just like, obviously you can like someone until they wear earrings that you're not that keen on, and then it's all off.
That's hilarious.
It's just unacceptable. I really liked it when you had a man on your TikTok saying like patronizing voice.
Yeah.
And I said patronizing comment, and he was like, oh yeah, fair
play. Yeah.
It's so weird because when you write these things, does he not think no? No, thinking does not come into it.
I don't know, but do you know who I think has not thought something through?
What?
Matt Hancock. What is he doing?
Well, yeah, a midlife crisis.
So what's been your positive for the week, Chippy?
My positive for the week is I ate a frog. Do you know that expression? I thought everyone knew that expression, but Joe did not know what that was. And basically, I qualified as an accredited coach in March or April. And then I've procrastinated doing my website.
Oh yeah, I forgot to look at that. I got distracted.
Well, more homework you just didn't do. And I finally did my website, and it's up and it's done. And it took me about 3 hours total of faffing. And yeah, I've put it off since April. So I'm pleased that that is done. That is my positive. What's your positive of the week, Gemma Bray?
It's a bit of a smug positive.
Oh God, how many spins did you do?
No, it's not about that. It's not about that. So
wait a minute.
Go on. What?
Are you alone in the house?
Yeah, why? Well, Mike's in the office outside. Why?
Because I just heard another voice.
Oh, fuck off. My tummy just rumbled.
Well, have a listen back. What time are we on? Oh, you won't know, but we're obviously quite close to the end. But when you have an edit, I'm going to wave so you can see this. Scroll back and just have a listen. It sounds like something. Like high voice. La, 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 la.
Trying to get in on the act.
Oh my God.
So it's quite a smug positive. So our mortgage, and this had nothing to do with me. This was all mathematical Mike.
We're all jealous of the Mike.
Due to run out the deal. The
yeah.
My positive is I married a clever man, because he had the wherewithal to lock it in and get a deal months ago.
I don't mean to sound awful. My mum gets really cross about it. But if I had to marry again, and part of me thinks if Joe leaves me for being so vile to him, I would never marry again, because I hate having to share my space with people. But I'm going to marry someone who's really good at money, really good with numbers, really good at boring life admin. So over here, we've got Joe saying, I need to do my tax return. I need to do my tax return. We could owe 10 grand. We could owe nothing. I was like, that's quite a big difference, Joe. Why don't you have a vague understanding of which one it is? And he was like, I just don't know. Like, fucking hell. That's what it's like at the Harrods. Just for some balance, just in case anyone listened to Gemma's positive. And
I did warn you that it was a smug positive. I'm aware.
Over here, we've got a mathematical shit show going on. No puppies, just fighting big dogs, and a possible massive tax bill that we can't pay looming. So on that note,
right, we'll speak to you all next week, everybody. Did we cheered anyone, or we just plunged anyone into just a pit?
Well, you can email us now at thelifelaundrypodcast@gmail.com.
The Life Laundry Podcast, all one word, @gmail.com.
You can
I do
find
have
us.
access to it. Do I have access to it?
Yeah, you do. I did send you the login. And I need to have a picture of us both together, and then I'm going to upload that right now. And you can find us on YouTube, where there is one video up where we are Life Laundry Podcast. So you can upload this while we get the old episodes uploaded. They'll be out of sync probably. I've got a list of the ones that I've edited in order, but they might be out of order. But I'm sure you won't mind. It's not like we really talk about a lot of current events well. But yeah, Life Laundry Podcast on YouTube, the Life Laundry Podcast @gmail.com. You can send us a message. I will respond. Gemma won't. Well, she might. If you want Gemma to respond, I can force her to do it. I didn't hear that.
That's so exciting.
And until next week, no, that's different podcast.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we shall speak to you next week. Say goodbye, Chippy.
Bye-bye, Gemma.